Education in India is talked of in a very, sort of different manner when you talk of vocational education, which actually is vocational training. You're training people to get jobs. It's called vocational education today because it's there in school education, it's there in higher education, and it trains people to get jobs. And maybe the biggest success stories in terms of scaling and spreading have been in this particular area. But then if you look at the comparative coaching space, the pre-medical coaching, the coaching for IAS, the coaching for engineering, even tuition classes, they have become now very, very rampant, and you can see lots of centers all over. This one more aspect of education which is being scaled. And then, of course, there are this new thing called finishing classes. You do college, you do engineering, you do something, but then you go to a school, and a particular school where you learn etiquette, you learn communication, you're ready for the industry. So there's a huge range we're talking about here, and there are interesting examples in each particular area where there has been success and where there has been failure. So if you look at the scaling of education brands, the first thing is that there has to be an opportunity. There has to be a need. That need could be evident or it could be latent. So for instance, if you look at schools today, it's an evident need. There's a need to build lots of quality schools in India all over the place. Therefore, there are schools opening, and there are chains of schools opening and brands spreading very fast. The need was not evident. Nobody knew that you could pick up a raw graduate or a school pass out and convert him into a programmer and place him in the industry. This concept was not there. It was a latent need. So it needed a lot of advertising and marketing to make people realize that, yes, apart from engineers or scientists, ordinary graduates could be trained to become programmers. So the need can be evident or latent. It is very much in the nature of the entrepreneur who is setting up these businesses to figure out whether the need actually exists. If it's an evident need, what he can make of it. But it's a latent need. How can he communicate and make that latent need come alive in the market and then scale it up? And this need should be felt pan-India. If you really want to scale up a brand, you should be able to see the relevance of this particular need all over India. One thing very, very important in scaling is that there needs to be a differentiator you need to have. Something which makes you stand out and catches the eye of people. So what I'm focusing on primarily in my talk is that when you are scaling up the education brands, education models, there are some pitfalls which you need to look at. And unless and until you take care of these pitfalls, no education brand can scale. The first thing is, when you think you have a solution ready for the market, do think it through. So there's a need to think through your idea and see whether it's really relevant. It'll make impact on the market. What is happening today is that somebody is coming with a brilliant idea, and before you know, he wants to scale it up without making that idea settle down, without making that idea succeed, and without making that idea become accepted and being talked about, and the word of mouth coming out of that idea being generated in the markets, that people talk about it as a success. So there has to be a patience to at least make the first 1 or 2 units succeed. Very often the scaling happens very, very fast without the first success in place. You have to grow in stages. You have to grow and develop expertise in stages to reach a very highly scaled model or a very successfully pan-India kind of a model. Then, of course, choosing the expansion model. Is it going to be franchise, or will you open your own units? If you're going to expand very fast and open your own units, the problem is where will you get the capital funding from? Where will you get the management manpower from? If you're starting a franchise model, learn to handle it carefully. If you're starting your own units, learn to be ready with capital investment and wait for financial returns to come. So plan everything very, very carefully. Therefore, the financial model you build in terms of how you're going to grow over the next 10, 15, 20 years, 10 years at least. How will the capital investments come in? What kind of revenues you will make? What kind of expenses you will incur? When will you start making surplus? What are going to be your cash flows? What's the payback? What is the internal rate of returns? What are the assumptions behind that model? You have to think it through if you're going to scale up. This financial modeling is very, very important. Secondly, when you are building a brand, do not underestimate the importance of investing in marketing. Do not assume I've opened one school here or one vocational training unit here or one preschool here and I just have to go to 3 other cities, open there, and 10 other cities and 100 others. Every city is different. Every market is different. Every city's dynamic is different. You have to go to each market, understand it. The same formula don't work. And if the same formula work, it still requires investment. Education brands require a lot of marketing investment Don't underestimate that. Very often your models you build underestimate the spend in marketing, and that's why you fall flat. You don't spend, the volumes don't happen, you implode. This is very important. Most importantly, when education brands are scaling, you require time to build, time to recruit, time to train, and time to integrate that manpower into an organic system which is called your organization's culture, your values, your methods of working. It's not going to be easy. So all these are pitfalls which come in the way of education scaling. When you are building a brand, what about your management systems? How will you manage just your sales reporting system? How will you manage how many inquiries are coming, how many are getting converted, where are the seats getting filled from? What is the cash flow? What are the expenses going everywhere? Okay, what about my quality? What is happening in the classrooms? That is the biggest driver for growth. How are you managing quality? So there has to be a management control, and that doesn't happen if you scale just like that. It takes time. You have to grow in stages. And what becomes a very big pitfall is financial probity. As you grow, you tend to lose control. And as you tend to lose control, there can be a financial lapse anywhere. It can happen in a small branch. It can happen in a big regional office. It can happen behind your back in your own head office. And it can make your entire operation come crashing down very, very comfortably. Continuous development and rejuvenating your brand, your USPs is very, very important in this. So obviously, always reinventing yourself and strategizing and becoming better and better, because Me Too's will emerge, is possibly a very important aspect of trying to sustain your competitive advantage and scaling up continuously. Thank you very much.